आपको अभी कोई समझ नहीं है।
कांग्रेस हैज ऑलवेज रूल्ड बाय डिवाइड एंड रूल।
बड़े भाषण करेंगे भैया।
हमें इनसे डर नहीं लगता दोस्तों, ज्ञान हथेली पे लेके आए हैं।
ये बड़े चतुर के लोग हैं जी।
ये खतरे के बादल हटाने हैं तो भाजपा को ही हटाना होगा।
ये माँ बेटे तो मान के चलते हैं कि जनता उनकी जेब में है। कहेंगे नियत साफ।
कोई कांग्रेस को वोट नहीं बढ़ना चाहिए, कोई बीजेपी अकालियों को वोट नहीं बढ़ना चाहिए।
बीजेपी अकालियां पता है कि इन्हों की सफाई हो रही है पंजाब में।
ये कांग्रेस पार्टी पर आपका कोई भरोसा है क्या?
भाजपा को ही हटाना होगा, सरकार बदलनी होगी।
केवल अमीरों के लोग का दिल करता है।
अब ये चुनाव आप लोगों को लड़ना है।
Hello and welcome to the election channel India Today TV. That's right, the battle for 2017 has been joined with the announcement of elections yesterday, and we are bringing you our exclusive Axis India Today pre-poll opinion surveys. Yesterday we went to the state of Uttar Pradesh where we told you what would happen if elections were held there today. Now we are traveling to the other three big states that are going to the polls next month to give you a sense of exactly what is the voter mood at the halfway point of the Narendra Modi government at the center. Much at stake for the Prime Minister, much at stake for the opposition. The three states, Punjab, Uttarakhand and Goa. Let me tell you what are our findings of the India Today Axis. But at the top of the program, let's focus on the Game of Thrones on the election channel. We're telling you what will happen in the big elections that everyone is looking at next month. Yesterday we told you Uttar Pradesh, key state, and as per the Axis poll, it's the BJP which is set to win that key state of Uttar Pradesh. More than 200 of the 403 seats on offer. Akhilesh and Mayawati and the Congress suffering a setback. Today we are telling you what's happening in Punjab, what's happening in Uttarakhand and what's happening in Goa. First, Punjab, vote share. We believe India Today Axis poll says Congress is at 35%. The Aam Aadmi Party is doing strongly but not strong enough at 29%. And the Shiromani Akali Dal BJP combined 24%. Others are 12%. How is this translating now in the 117-member Punjab Assembly into seats? Difficult to project in a three contest, but this is what Axis is projecting. Congress 56 to 62, just around the halfway mark. The Congress is inching towards a majority as per this poll. Aam Aadmi Party 36 to 41 in second place, but not doing as well as it might have hoped in Punjab as per this poll. Shiromani Akali Dal, BJP combined 18 to 21, others 1 to 4. Take a look at those numbers. It appears that the Badals are being swept out of Punjab and maybe Captain Amrinder Singh is coming back to par with the Aam Aadmi Party being the X factor. Let's then turn to the next state, the state of Uttarakhand. What are we predicting now on the Game of Thrones for Uttarakhand? The BJP, 45% is the clear leader at the moment in Uttarakhand as per our poll. The Congress is 33% and others are down to just 22%. But it's the BJP with 45%, 12% edge in a two-cornered race. How is this translating into seats in the 70-member assembly? We believe it's advantage to the BJP, 41 to 46 seats to the BJP. The Congress 18 to 23 seats and others are 2 to 6. When you look at those numbers, the BJP seems set to return to power in Uttarakhand. Take a look at Goa, tiny Goa. We've also done a projection there. And here again, in Goa, vote share, BJP 41%, which is a strong number. Congress 33%. Others, we believe, up 8% and others are 18%. How is this translating into seats in the 40-member Goa Assembly? We believe that the BJP could get as much as 20 to 24 seats in that 40-member assembly. The Congress would be next with 13 to 15 members in that assembly, and Aam Aadmi Party would be 2 to 4. Others in Goa, others do matter, 1 to 4. Total, therefore, the BJP could again come back to par in Goa. So the big picture, BJP leading in Uttar Pradesh, BJP leading in Uttarakhand, BJP leading in Goa. The big question, is the BJP emerging as the dominant party of 2017? I'm joined by the politicians now. Joining me now is Pratap Singh Bajwa, the leader of the Congress in Punjab. Also joining me is Yogendra Yadav, president of the Swaraj India Party and psephologist as well. Joining me also is Ashish Khaitan of the Aam Aadmi Party, and Jagveer Singh, leader of the Akali Dal, is also with us. I appreciate all of you joining us at the moment. Raman Malik of the BJP is also with us. The first findings though of our poll, the dominant party of 2017 is the BJP. Yogendra Yadav, do you agree with that finding, the broad finding that our poll seems to be suggesting purely on the basis of this poll?
If that is the case, if UP turns in favor of the BJP, the way your poll projects, I said yesterday, I don't quite think that's going to be the case, but if this poll were to be right, then of course a victory of the BJP in Uttar Pradesh will give it a very big boost and will give just that stability and support that the Prime Minister might need at this time. But should it turn the other way around, this would be a very major defeat for the Prime Minister. So UP is critical. For the BJP, Punjab doesn't matter that much. For Congress, Punjab matters enormously, because if they are not there in Punjab, they are not there anywhere. So it is a critical battle. For BJP, Uttar Pradesh is a critical battle. I do not think that we should rush into these conclusions about BJP being the dominant party. But yes, over the last 3 or 4 years, we have seen that transition, Congress being gradually displaced, BJP gradually encroaching on that space. And that only brings out the hollowness of anti-Modi politics right now in the country and the vacuum in opposition that we have witnessed.
I'll come to the vacuum of the opposition and the problems that the opposition are facing, the fragmentation of the opposition being one of it. But Pratap Singh Bajwa, you can smile. Not too often do we have a poll where we say the Congress is winning. I don't remember the last poll which said the Congress could be winning in a major state.
That is true.
Are you already celebrating, or do you believe at the end of the day, given the fact that this is only a pre-poll, you could still be in a tough fight? In fact, ABP News in a poll yesterday or conducted by CSDS has said the Akalis will win Punjab. So the Aam Aadmi Party doing strongly, the Akalis benefiting possibly from a divided Congress-AAP vote. Are you still worried, or do you believe Congress is set to win Punjab?
See, Rajdeep, we are not worried. We know Congress is on the victory.
Because you all are capable of scoring self-goals. In the past, we have seen the Congress in the choice of candidates, the fight against Chief Minister. You were expected to win 5 years ago. You didn't win. I'm just wondering, do you believe that the Congress this time has got its act together?
See, 100% we have put our act together. We are all together on this. And certainly, see, this survey which you have got, I think so Akalis are going to go even down. Because this has been done before the election code came into process. And what Yogendra Bhai has said, I am completely with him. There's a great fear psychosis because of the gundagardi of the Akalis in the last 10 years. Once you have this survey now, you will see Congress going up and Akali is going into the dumps. I tell you for sure.
So you believe this is a vote against the gundagardi of the Akali Dal?
100% it's a gundagardi, and it's a blatant misuse of power by their cadres and by the leaders.
You know, the fact is, Jagveer Singh, the first results we are getting of our poll from Punjab clearly show the Akali Dal being swept out of power. In fact, I can tell you that on issues like drugs, 70% said yes, drugs is a major problem. Only 19% said no, it's not. And 69% blamed politicians for the drug problem. Do you concede today that there is anger against the Akali Dal or gundagardi of the Akali Dal? There is anger against that, which is why the Congress is actually in with a chance and the Aam Aadmi Party is also gaining in Punjab.
See, Rajiv ji, as far as I know, there's only one recorded incident of any Congress, of anyone being accused of being involved in drugs. That was that allegation was made by Captain Amrinder Singh through a letter which he wrote to Mrs. Sonia Gandhi, in which he accused Mr. Pratap Singh Bajwa of being in cahoots with drug smugglers.
Sir, 1 minute, 1 minute. 69% of the people are saying Punjab government politicians are involved in drugs. 70% say it's a major issue. 75% say there is corruption in Punjab. Corruption in Punjab, 75% say the politicians are corrupt.
I think there is something fundamentally wrong with your survey. And I don't know what kind of questions you asked and why you have come out with these kind of results. But I would like to say the 70% issue was the same allegation which was made by Rahul Gandhi when he came to Punjab in the run-up to the 2012 elections. 70% is the figure Captain Amrinder Singh has given. 70% is the figure which AAP has given. And you have also repeated that. But the truth is that AIMS, a reputed body like AIMS, has come out with a figure of around 1.2, 1.3%.
So you're, no, 1 minute. Sir, please. Are you going to tell me today on this program there is no drug or corruption problem in Punjab? Are you telling me there is no gundagardi?
4 lakh people were tested.
Please do not stretch the incredulity of this audience.
2% people, they were, said to be in,
Sir, I am going by a survey.
So that is the actual figure. That is the reality.
Okay.
All this is rhetoric. All this is politicking.
Okay, all this is rhetoric. I am only going by my survey, so I don't claim to be an expert on Punjab. I am going by our survey findings at the moment. But you wanted a quick response, Mr. Bajwa, then I want to go to the Aam Aadmi Party.
See, what he talked about, this letter that Amrinder Singh's written, Amrinder Singh on record has said, I have never written any letter against me to Sonia Gandhi, number one. Number two, as the party president of the Pradesh Congress, I have twice gone into the High Court seeking a CBI inquiry against Bikram Singh Majitia and the ministers involved of the Kalis. Why has Badal not accepted that?
Now, do you believe drugs and corruption is a major issue today?
101%. And they are the kingpins. This smuggling is being led by Sukhbir Singh and Bikram Singh Majitia.
No, let's not make personal accusations of defamation. No, do you have proof? Do you have proof? Do you have proof? You have proof that Sukhbir Singh Badal is involved in drugs?
The enforcement directorate has summoned Bikram Singh Majitia. The enforcement directorate has thrice summoned him. The High Court has summoned him. The thing is, the whole of this party is involved in the cadres are involved.
Okay, just a minute. Just a minute, sir.
You ask any kid, Rajdeep, you ask any kid of Punjab, the first, when you talk about drugs, the first name that will come would be Sukhbir and Bikram Singh Majitia.
Sir, let's not do rhetoric. Sir, can I?
The most corrupt. This is the most.
Okay, just a minute, sir. Let's not get into a violent tutu mehmet. Drugs is a sensitive issue. I don't want names to be thrown.
That's exactly what
let's not throw names without hard evidence. All we can say is what our survey is saying. As I said, and we should play up those numbers and put those flashes. 70% are saying that drugs is a problem, and Punjab government politicians, 69% are saying are responsible. But Ashish Khaitan, let's look at the big number. The big picture which is coming is that while there seems to be a lot of anger against the Akali Dal in Punjab, it's not the Aam Aadmi Party alone which is benefiting from it. In fact, the Congress seems to be benefiting even more. 6 months ago, it appeared that AAP was ahead. As per this survey, it appears the Congress is ahead. Do you concede that things for you are not as strong now as they were 6 months ago?
Yes, Rajdeep, I would like to give a three-pronged response. Number one, three major issues emerge from your survey, which is drugs, corruption and Mafia Raj. And as per your own survey, people have responded by saying that politicians of all stripes, cutting both Akali Dal and Congress party lines, are responsible for drug problem, for corruption and for Mafia Raj. For 10 years, Congress failed to put up a formidable resistance to what I would say are an upsurge in drug problem and corruption in Punjab, for the simple reason that while Congress went soft on Akali Dal's corruption and drug-ridden administration, the Akali Dal went soft on Amrinder Singh's corruption cases, which were soft-pedaled before different courts. Now, the vote that the people of Punjab are going to cast is not a vote just for a cyclical replacement. People want systemic change. They want a party which is new, which is fresh, which doesn't have the baggage of Amrinder Singh's Swiss bank accounts, which doesn't have the baggage of Akali Dal's politicians who are tainted in drug administration, and who can give a new lease of life to Punjab. And that's where AAP has a distinct, I would say, a very, very prominent advantage.
But you don't
over,
agree,
both
Mr.
Congress
Khaitan.
Party and Akali Dal.
But Mr. Khaitan, you
So
don't
this is
agree with
where
the
I differ
survey.
with you, survey.
Mr. Khaitan, you don't agree with the
This is
finding
where
of the
I said
survey
this
that
is
6
where I
months. No, just a
differ with you,
minute.
survey.
That in the last 6 months, the Aam Aadmi Party has split on several occasions in Punjab. You've lost some of your key members in recent weeks as well. The fact is you haven't projected a chief ministerial candidate. The fact is Navjot Singh Sidhu, who was going to join the Aam Aadmi Party, is now joining the Congress. To that extent, do you agree Punjab is one of the few states where the Congress has the momentum, not the Aam Aadmi Party at the moment? Maybe 6 months ago what you said is right. Have things changed in your view, or do you believe our survey is wrong?
No, I would say I don't want to point out in the fallacies of your survey. We all know the surveys which were done in the past in Delhi and other states, and this survey, I'd let people take the survey on their face value or with a pinch of salt. What I am saying that is the converse. It's the Aam Aadmi Party which is gaining momentum. It's the Aam Aadmi Party which is speaking at the right time. Right now, Congress is doing zero political activity on the ground. Amrinder Singh and their gang, because of internal factionalism, because of ticket distribution, there is a lot of internal strife. They are not talking about the core issues, and more importantly, the common man on the ground sees Amrinder Singh being mixed up with the Akali Dal. So that's why the vote for change will not go to Amrinder. The vote for change will go to Aam Aadmi Party. And as weeks progress and we come closer to the election, you will see Amrinder and Congress completely slipping out, because the people see Amrinder as a baggage and not as a kind of an advantage for Congress Party. His record of corruption, 5 years of corruption-ridden administration, is still fresh in people's memory.
But you know, the
and
larger
for 10
picture...
years as an opposition leader, he was absolutely ineffective, in fact completely dormant.
Okay, so you believe the Aam Aadmi Party will
He in fact gave a clean sheet to Vikram Majithia.
Okay, just
while Mr. Bajwa is making allegations, Amrinder Singh gave a clean sheet to Mr. Majithia.
Just a minute. Let's go beyond Punjab for a moment, because as I've said, we've shown 3 states today in rapid succession: Uttarakhand, we've shown Goa, and we've shown Punjab. And Mr. R.P. Singh, the sense I'm getting is that the BJP appears to have the momentum within in all these states except Punjab. Do you therefore, are you going to see this election as and when, if these numbers hold, as a referendum on Mr. Modi's government, or is it purely about local factors? Because in Punjab, clearly, you're not being able to buck the anti-incumbency against the Akali BJP combined, but in other states, you seem to be doing better. So is it about Mr. Modi's governance, or are these elections purely about local issues, Mr. R.P. Singh?
Okay. Okay, let me start first by greeting your viewers the Gurpurab greeting, 350th year of Guru Gobind Singh Ji. And let me take you to little history. Last time when the election was bound to happen, and all those surveys which came in, I remember 65 seats were given to Congress and 47 to Akali Dal. Another survey, 60 seats were given to Congress and 52 to Akali Dal BJP. And what happened? Sir, on ground, things are different. And when my friend Ashish Khaitan or Bajwa Sahab speaks of drugs, Mr. Khaitan, Bhagwant Maan is the icon of alcoholism and drugs in Punjab. Everyone knows. And then, will you project Mr. Kejriwal? Who will be your candidate for the chief minister?
Rajdeep, I would
will he be a Sikh or a non-Sikh? It's a big issue for Punjab.
To refrain
a Sikh candidate or not? Because you
I want all of you to refrain. I want all of you to refrain from naming individuals unless you have evidence. If you have evidence that Mr. Bhagwant Maan is involved in drugs, please provide the evidence. If you have evidence that Mr. Majithia is involved in drugs, or Mr. Sukhbir Badal is involved in drugs, please do not throw names.
Cannot be presented here.
Sir, let's not. Sir, this is an opinion poll discussion. Let's not make it about individual name calling. I want to come back. No, sir, just a minute.
His own colleague in.
Sir, I want to come back to the central
question. His own colleague in parliament had said so, not me. His own colleague in parliament.
Sir, just a minute.
Aam Aadmi Party, the member parliament.
Sir, just a minute. I want to come to the central question. Yogendra Yadav, I turn to you when there is too much of noise. The question is, I want to look at the big picture. Punjab clearly at the moment seems sui generis. There is anger against the Akali Dal BJP combined as per our poll, which seems to be benefiting the Congress and the AAP to a lesser extent. But in the other states, it appears that the BJP today is gaining. Am I right with my original question that the BJP now is the dominant party of India, that Narendra Modi is clearly Neta number 1, and the opposition, as you said earlier, is unable to find a combined way of combating or offer a new big idea to combat Mr. Modi. So in Uttarakhand, in Goa, even possibly in Uttar Pradesh, advantage to the BJP because of a fragmented opposition where Mr. Bajwa and Mr. Khaitan are screaming at each other.
One word about Punjab before I come straight to your question. What can we get from all these surveys put together? I think the bottom line is that there is anger against Akali Dal party. Takeshai is the word they use in Punjab. You know, it's just this arbitrary, whimsical nature of the regime. That's what's driving and opening a possibility on an alternative. 6 months ago, it seemed a new party, Aam Aadmi Party, would emerge as the alternative. But as the two successive polls by your own organization have shown, now the distance between Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party has increased, which makes it less probable, although it would be too early to jump to a conclusion. Aam Aadmi Party has been underestimated by opinion polls in the past, so we need to be careful before we say so. But that's the broad picture we get. On the larger issue that you had raised, I think it's the sheer bankruptcy of opposition in this country. Much of the opposition today reminds me of opposition to Indira Gandhi in the 70s. You know, there was a Mahagathbandhan, grand alliance against Indira Gandhi in 1971. A grand alliance of a kind that country had never seen before. Indira Gandhi scored a victory that the country had never seen before. Mr. Modi had used a phrase 4 or 5 days ago. मैं कहता हूँ काला धन हटाओ भगाओ, ये कहते हैं मोदी हटाओ. This is exactly the line used by Indira Gandhi. This plain straight anti-Modiism is leading to bankruptcy of opposition parties. The option to alternative to BJP is not merely somehow cobbling an opposition unity. It is to provide a substantive answer to the kind of politics Mr. Modi stands for. And unfortunately, neither on economic policy, nor on vote bank politics, nor on democracy does the opposition have a substantive answer to.
So
Mr.
you're
Modi.
saying blind anti-Modiism. You know, the Congress party, I can tell you, Mr. Bajwa, you can smile with the Punjab finding, but in state after state, in all the other states that we polled, in UP we polled yesterday, you're down to possibly single digits. You're losing Uttarakhand as per our poll. You are not coming back in Goa. So aren't you should be very worried that this blind anti-Modiism is not working, and maybe Mr. Modi is the Indira Gandhi of our times. He's emerging as the preeminent leader of this country, and you are unable to offer him a challenge. Do you accept that you are struggling with it? You said demonetization would defeat Mr. Modi. That's not happening, at least in these state elections.
I think so. That is happening in Punjab. Why are we just jumping the gun? Why
So
don't
one
you give...
state of Punjab, one state of Punjab, the Congress was a national party.
Rajiv, just wait for some more time. Wait for some time. There could be major surprises in a state like UP. You could be surprised in a state like UP. Just wait for some more days. You will see things happening.
No, what are you saying? You're referring to a possible alliance between the Congress and Akhilesh Yadav.
There's a lot of things happen in politics.
Mahagathbandhan. So the only way you believe you can defeat Mr. Modi is forming a Mahagathbandhan.
See, one thing is there, but it's just been 2.5 years.
Yes.
People still are getting into that great talk of Modi, the Prime Minister, Mr. Modi. They are giving him time. It doesn't mean that he's reached the status of late Mrs. Indira Gandhi. He has not reached till there. It's 2.5 years, and you will see very soon. He would be stumbling very soon.
You keep saying he's stumbling, but in election after election, barring Delhi and Bihar, Mr. Modi has gone from strength to strength. But Ashish Khaitan, I mean, both the surveys in Goa, for example, if the Aam Aadmi Party tied up with the Congress, you would easily possibly defeat the BJP. In Punjab, if the Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress were in alliance, the BJP would be defeated. Has the time come for AAP to decide who their enemy number one is? Because on your own, you are gaining, but possibly not gaining enough.
So I'd like to pick from where Mr. Yogendra Yadav left.
Yes.
The alternative to Modi and Modi's brand of politics is not going to be a Gathbandhan based on opportunism and sheer vote bank calculations. The alternative to Modi's brand of politics will be a brand new idea, big idea, which only AAP represents on the national political arena today.
What is that big idea?
You saw this. That
what is the big idea that the AAP represents? Ashish ji, what is the big idea?
Yes,
what is that big idea?
I'm glad that you have asked this. our 1.5 years of government in Delhi has shown that what that big idea is. Number one, zero tolerance for corruption. Number two, the government is working on the real fronts of development: health, education, human development, and major projects where there is zero corruption. On health, what we have done in Delhi, we have opened up mohalla clinics, which has been lauded up internationally by reputed medical journals. On the front of education, we have opened new schools. So while Modi has been talking, Aam Aadmi Party has delivered, and has delivered under very hostile circumstances. So we represent the idea of politics of meritocracy, politics of inclusive and sustainable development, and delivering on the ground, on the front of nuts and bolts of governance, which is
but
local
that's not,
administration,
our survey is not
devolution
showing
of
that.
power into the hands of the
Sir, I'm
common
only
man,
going by our survey.
and working on crucial sectors like health and
Our survey
education.
is showing the BJP strengthening. Our survey is showing today the BJP
I don't want to
strengthening.
comment on surveys.
Okay, you're saying that you believe on the ground the situation is different?
Rajdeep, I would just like to say, Rajdeep, surveys in the past, even in Delhi in 2013, when Aam Aadmi Party got 28 seats, when in 15 we got 67 seats, there were surveys which were writing us off, giving us 15 seats and 20 seats. The voter of Aam Aadmi Party is always a silent voter, quiet voter, who casts his mandate but who would not speak up before the election when there are surveyors going around collecting data.
Okay.
Aam Aadmi Party has shown in the past that it can surprise everyone, because, let me just add one more thing. Like in Goa, we have a candidate who is squeaky clean. Name one politician in Goa who doesn't have a charge of corruption, doesn't have a taint on him or her. It's only Aam Aadmi Party who has fielded candidates who have zero baggage of corruption. There is no legacy of maladministration. That's where Aam Aadmi Party scores over other parties and stands heads and shoulders over BJP in Goa and BJP in Akali Dal and Congress Party in Amrinder in Punjab.
Can I just, before I end this segment, ask you, Mr. Bajwa, it's very interesting since we are talking about clean candidates. Navjot Singh Sidhu, just for our survey, just to tell us, Captain Amrinder Singh, 34% in Punjab want him. Prakash Singh Badal, 22%. Arvind Kejriwal was 16%. Bhagwant Mann, 9%. Chief Minister candidates. Navjot Singh Sidhu was 5%. Is Navjot Singh Sidhu going to be used by the by the Congress as your new poster boy? And is this part of your strategy? Get more charismatic campaigners somehow to join the Congress party? Because otherwise, why are you taking someone who has left the BJP? Simply because you obviously are lacking those kind of charismatic leaders on the ground.
No, Rajdeep, we are not short of leaders. We have enough of leaders. We have enough of charisma in our leadership that we have. Navjot has left on his own. He's joining the Congress on his own.
Who is the charismatic leader that you have nationally today who can match a Modi? Let's be very clear. Where is the charismatic Congress leader who can match Mr. Modi?
Why not Rahul Gandhi? How do you say he lacks anything? Give him some more time. You have given 2.5 years. People have been... See, you just wait for another 6 months, a year's time, you will find Modi running from the back door.
I find that the Congress lives in denial. It's almost as if you believe that all these surveys...
Rahul is going to deliver. He started to deliver. He's already come in his own right. So we give him some. You are actually you are giving too much of credence to Mr. Modi. I don't think so.
Is the opposition
for some more time?
We heard Mr.
See on the demonetization.
Yes.
I spoke to one of the top economists of the world. He told me the other day, Mr. Bajwa, it is just like a racing car being shot on the front tire. This is what Mr. Modi has done. Even the Honorable President has today himself said the economy is going to go slow.
I'm going to come to that because after a break I'm going to look at whether the union budget should be delivered or will be delivered just before the election. But a final word from you, Yogendra Yadav, before we go to that. Do you sense that the opposition is living in denial? I keep putting up these numbers only to emphasize the fact that as of now, Mr. Modi seems well ahead of his rivals. He's doing something right, even on demonetization possibly, where people at least, there is no anti-demonetization mood as per our survey. There's no anger against demonetization. There are no riots on the streets.
That's one more inch. Although on demonetization, I personally think Mr. Modi has won the first round very clear and square. But the second round, which began with 31st of December, may not go in his favor. But let's wait for that.
Yes.
That was one more example of how constantly opposition keeps misreading the national mood, and they keep missing the bus. I mean, just to use a cliche, they never miss an opportunity to miss an opportunity. That's what the opposition is doing right now. To come to the larger issue of a real alternative to Mr. Modi, I heard Ashish Khaitan very carefully, and this is not the occasion to dispute some of these claims. We don't want to get into a debate on Delhi. What I find interesting is that the grounds on which he claimed success for Aam Aadmi Party in Delhi are exactly the grounds on which Mr. Modi used to claim the Gujarat model. Where is the alternative vision? Where is the alternative conception? Can a big Modi be defeated by a Chota Modi? I don't think so.
Are you calling Arvind Kejriwal today on this program a Chota Modi?
I'm not here to give you
Are you saying that? As someone who has worked closely with him, are you today saying that Arvind Kejriwal is a Chota Modi?
I don't want to distract your show, but yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. And I'm saying it with good reason and careful thinking, but I don't want this to become a show on Delhi and tutu meme of any sort. But the model being invoked is exactly a Modi model, unfortunately. You cannot beat Modi model by another Modi model.
Okay, what is that new model that can defeat Mr. Modi? That's the challenge for the opposition. At the moment, it appears, as per the Axis India Today poll, it is advantage BJP, except in the state of... Sorry, I'll give you 15 seconds. You want 15 seconds, Ashish Khaitan? Quickly respond to what Yogendra Yadav said. Arvind Kejriwal is a Chota Modi. He's not providing an alternative model to Narendra Modi. Quick response.
Just look at our performance and our report card. Electricity prices have been halved. Water has been made free, and still the BJP has enhanced its revenues by 300 crores. We have provided water to 300 colonies which hadn't seen a drop of water, a piped water, since 1947. And on health and education, we have delivered, and everybody can feel the gains on the ground. The common man can feel the gains. This is where we stand so distinctly different from Modi, because we are not doing vibrant Gujarat summits. We are delivering on the ground, and our governance can be seen, is palpably felt on the ground by the common man.
I'm going to leave it there. We'll see how the people of Punjab, indeed in Goa and across the country, see these alternative visions that Ashish Khaitan claims are being offered. Yogendra Yadav suggesting that there is a bankruptcy of the opposition. But I'm going to turn after this with a fresh panel to the other question. The union budget. Should a budget be delivered 2 days before the country goes to vote? Should the budget be on February 1st, or should it be postponed as the opposition is demanding? Will it be a violation of the code of conduct if Arun Jaitley delivers the budget 2 days before the elections? Looking at the Game of Thrones, the big election focus here on the news today. We've told you what our poll numbers are saying, but there is another big question that's emerging. Should the union budget be held just 2 days before the polls? Remember, the polls begin on the 4th of February. The budget is slated for the 1st. Today, the opposition parties took the issue to the Election Commission, saying it would be a violation of the Code of Conduct if the Narendra Modi government was allowed to make budget announcements just before an election. Listen in to what the opposition and the government's response was.
Preponing of the elections actually is questionable, also about the intent of the government to influence the voters by making populist announcements. And Election Commission has a constitutional mandate to ensure that the sanctity of the election and the fairness of the election is not subverted.
अगर आप ध्यान करें तो निर्वाचन आयोग को ये पहले से जानकारी थी कि इस बार बजट पहले से प्रस्तुत होगा, और निर्वाचन आयोग ने इसी बात को ध्यान में रखकर तिथियां तय की हैं। हम ऐसा मानते हैं कि इसका कोई विशेष प्रभाव नहीं पड़ेगा। एक बजट एक अलग प्रक्रिया का हिस्सा है, और इससे पहले भी ऐसी प्रक्रिया होती आई है, और कभी भी इंटरिम बजट जब पेश होता है तो भी कुछ ना कुछ बातें कही जाती हैं। बहरहाल इस सब के बाद भी निर्वाचन आयोग जो निर्देश करेगा हम उसको मानेंगे।
Okay, let me then turn to our next big question, which is, should the budget be allowed to be held just before a big election? Joining me now is T.S. Krishnamurthy, the former Chief Election Commissioner. I'm also joined by GVL Narasimha Rao of the BJP. In the studio still Yogendra Yadav and Pratap Singh Bajwa. Appreciate all of you joining us. Quick first word from you, sir, as the former Chief Election Commissioner. Do you think it's a healthy practice for the budgets with possible tax SOPs and other SOPs being announced by the government to be held just 2 days before a big election?
Well, it's a very ticklish situation developing into some kind of a constitutional conflict, if not a constitutional crisis. Well, normally in the past, we used to take into account the budget dates before announcing the elections. But there were situations when budget could not be presented because the elections had to be held in April, May, and the vote on account used to be taken. Now, as far as present situation is concerned, it's very unfortunate. But there are two arguments, one in favor, one is against it. One in favor in the sense Parliament has its own right to discharge its responsibility. And secondly, Parliament has been elected on the basis of the manifesto of the various parties. If the manifesto promises are to be introduced in the budget provision, obviously there cannot be any objection to that. But at the same time, if promises are made in respect of the poll-bound states, certainly it would prejudice the minds of the voters, and so a solution has to be found. In my opinion, the election commission and the government of the day.
Sir, I'm sorry to be direct. If the opposition parties were to come to you and say postpone the budget, what would you have told them?
I would draw certain guidelines under which the budget could be presented. I would give various reasons why certain guidelines have to be followed. But if those guidelines are not followed, the budget will be certainly questioned, and it will be a violation of code of conduct.
Okay, you know, GVL Narasimha Rao, it seems today Arun Jaitley has made it very clear that the government will go ahead with the budget on February 1st. That's what Santosh Gangwar says. It seems at the moment that you don't care for constitutional propriety. 5 years ago, when President Pranab Mukherjee was finance minister, the same round of elections were held in 2012. The budget was postponed. Why? What is it that is stopping you from postponing the budget? Why are you insisting that the budget must go ahead 3 days before an election?
No, Rajdeep, the real reasons why the budget was postponed in 2012 had nothing to do with model code of conduct, or nor was it asked for by the Election Commission of India. The reasons were entirely political in nature, and the Congress certainly knows that. The reality is this budget would be advanced by a month and would be presented on February 1. This was a decision that was made in September. I think this has not come as a surprise to anybody. And even the Election Commission of India, they were aware of it.
You don't think it's a violation of the Model Code of Conduct?
Even the Cabinet Committee
Sir,
on Political Affairs.
You don't think it will be, sir, you don't think it will be a violation of the Model Code of Conduct if the Finance Minister announces various SOPs which will benefit the people of the states that are going to the polls? Then you might as well throw away the Model Code of Conduct. Might as well not have an election commission.
But Rajdeep, then you can suspend governance for 5 months in a year. Let me flip the question. People have elected this government to rule the country, to be in charge of governance. But if in May there were elections in 5 states, you suspend governance for 2.5 months in the months of May and April. You do it again in January, February. So you might as well close governance.
Good point.
I think you can't be in a country where there are several rounds of elections happening all the time. And that too 5 months, you can't afford. Tomorrow, what if some state government were to dissolve tomorrow? What if Mamata Banerjee dissolves Bengal government on March 1st and elections are announced on March 10? Do we postpone the budget again to June? I think this annual budget is an annual feature.
Okay. You made the point.
It's being advanced for reasons of governance.
Oh, it's been advanced.
That we have, all the states have funds, all the states have program funds available from 1st April so that they can utilize the money properly. It has a governance, it's a governance reform.
It's a governance reform. Yogendra Yadav, the point made by the BJP is that you will then suspend governance. that if every time, because elections are in a cycle held every few months, some state or the other goes to the polls. That is the BJP's argument, that when you have a situation like this, you can't suspend governance. Budget is about governance.
The trouble with these arguments, Rajdeep, is that I didn't hear these arguments 5 years ago. I didn't hear them 10 years ago. This is not a new situation. It comes every 5 years. It's an unfortunate coincidence. Something needs to be done. It's not the most happy resolution so far. But the manner in which now it's being done, it is shocking. If the Election Commission wanted to do something about it, they could have called all the parties 8 months ago to say, look, this is the problem coming up. Can we advance Punjab elections to December? Which they could have. They have their constitutional right to do so. Or they could have written to the government to say, for heaven's sake, don't bring the budget advance this year, do it next time. The trouble is that they want to come up with absolutely new, as if a new history of India has begun in 2014. That possibly cannot be, and there's something inherently unfair here. The unfair thing is, let us assume, let's suppose for a moment, that the finance minister announces something big for Indian agriculture, which I hope he would. I want him to do so. And 3 days later, you have elections in an agrarian state of Punjab. Does it not put Aam Aadmi Party and Congress in a severely disadvantaged situation?
Is that why you're objecting to the budget?
See, not only that, this is a complete corrupt practice. This is, and the election commissioner, I have to make a special appeal to him. The very purpose of the election commissioner would be defeated. What is the election commission meant for? You cannot give them, give the government a chance to influence the voters. Can't, either the election should have been preponed or this budget could have been postponed for some time. You know, this is total illegal. This is a corrupt practice.
You calling it a corrupt practice?
It is a complete corrupt practice.
Mr. Krishnamurthy, if the example of Yogendra Yadav, that let's say the finance minister announced SOPs for the agriculture sector, Punjab goes to the polls 2 days later, is that not a violation of the model code of conduct?
Absolutely, it will be a violation of model code of conduct. There is no doubt about that.
Given that what the election commission is saying, GVL Narasimha Rao, what is it? What is it? Is it ego that prevents you from postponing the budget to the 9th of March? Or do you believe that the election commission, like the Reserve Bank of India, must accept everything that the Prime Minister says in this country? Is that what you are saying to me, GVL Narasimha Rao, today? What if the finance minister announces SOPs for the agrarian sector? You don't see it as a violation of the model code of conduct?
I think, let me flip the question. A party like the Congress, which has reduced even the highest office of the Prime Minister, a constitutional position, they've reduced it to a rubber stamp. So let them not talk about institutional integrity, institutional independence. I think this government respects that very fiercely. Election Commission of India was in the know. Obviously, Election Commission of India has been collecting all the relevant information. Dates have not been finalized by the government. Government of India has no role as far as the dates of elections are concerned. So I think any decisions that the Election Commission of India made, I would not really like to make any comment on them. I think if they wished not to have this election on February 4th, they could have put it on February 15th. So we have not chosen the dates for elections. It's the Election Commission of India taking into account all the information that was available at its command, and they could have easily solicited additional information if they wanted from the government. Because this kind of respect for all institutions is certainly maintained by this government.
So where is the respect? So where is the respect? You go ahead with demonetization. You go ahead with demonetization and reduce the autonomy of the Reserve Bank. Now you are telling me that you will hold elections 2 days before. You'll have the budget 2 days before elections, and the Election Commission's view also may not be taken into account. I mean, where is the respect for institutions? I'm sorry, GVLG. Where is the respect? Here is a former Chief Election Commissioner saying on the program, it will be a violation to make announcements on agriculture.
You are misquoting me.
Sir.
Please. No, Rajdeep, you're misquoting me. I said February 1 was decided by the government way back in September.
But you can change it.
I think dates of elections have been finalized by the Election Commission of India.
Yes.
Government has no role whatsoever.
Okay.
And how do you expect government not to really look at different sectors of the economy?
That's
be it
exactly my
agriculture,
point.
be it industry.
That's exactly my
when have we
point.
started feeling that mere announcements will help people to win elections?
It's possible. You announce tax reform. You give major sops.
Announcements expect
You
resulting
give
development.
major sops in the budget. It will help you in the elections. Come on, Mr. GVL Narasimha Rao. My worry at the moment is let's maintain the sanctity of the electoral process. That's all I'm saying.
No,
there is a sanctity.
I think this is a.
Yes.
No, we are committed to it. But we see, you see, what I don't know. You can get a clarification from Shri Krishnamurthy ji. I think what I heard from the election commissioners say in that press conference was, they might have some concerns about announcements with respect to the specific states being made. And if there, like he said, if there are some suggestions or guidelines in that regard, that will be certainly kept in mind.
Okay, I've got 15 seconds only.
Deprive the rest of the country from moving ahead and implementing programs because some states are going to polls now.
Okay, 15 seconds only.
We are not discussing Congress or the BJP. We are discussing the legitimacy and sanctity of one of the finest institutions of this country, which is probably the only institution which has increased its stature over the last 2 decades. And if this election, this particular decision is allowed to go, if the BJP government, the central government, is allowed to present the union budget 3 days before Punjab election, I'm afraid in public perception, not just in India but all over the world, this election commission's stature would go down at least by 1 notch. I really hope that does not happen.
Okay, let's leave it there. Let's leave it there. So we've run completely out of time. Thank you very much for joining us. Game of Thrones, let me give you the final verdict. As per of the India Today Axis opinion poll, just a reminder, UP we have said 403 seats, the BJP ahead in 206 to 216, BSP 79 to 85, Samajwadi Party 92 to 97, Congress 5 to 9, others 7 to 11. Quick word, Punjab we believe it's the Congress which is leading with 56 to 62 seats. In Uttarakhand we believe it is the BJP which is well ahead with 41 to 46. In Goa we believe it is the BJP which is ahead with 20 to 24. But remember, this is only an opinion poll. It's part of a tracker. We'll have another tracker. Our final tracker will come at the end of January, just before the polls. That's when we'll give you how things are changing. Let's leave it there. This is your election channel and the Game of Thrones has just begun. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.